Yes, just go live. Right, I am live. Good. Right, I haven't done this in a little while, peeps. I've been for me roast dinner, couple of beers now, and a glass of rosé. So if I'm slurring, you know why. I work hard. 6 nights straight the other week. Then I was off for that heat. Fuck that. And all I could, 36, 37 here in southeast London, all I could do was sleep. Well, I sleep in the days anyway, because of working nights, so fuck that. So, people, how are we all doing? We got Burnham in now, haven't we? Burnham. Andy Burnham. Let me take my glasses off because it makes me nose sound blocked. And it's not. So the title, Committee 300. Please, people, talking about this a bit more. CSD done a load of Illuminati bloodlines. I only caught a bit of it, so I couldn't join in. I would have joined in otherwise. Can you lot hear me? Let me check. There was 2 people in just then. It's gone back to 0. Right, let me go in my YouTube. Am I on? Am I live? Say hello, anyone. I won't be on too long. Am I even fucking live? Shit. Am I live? Hello. Hello. Am I live? Right, I am, aren't I? Right, good. I can see I've got another one scheduled. Look, what's that up and coming? I've got one there up and coming for 129. Let me delete that for fuck's sake. Delete that. What the hell is that? Right. I'm hoping I'm live, everyone. Someone say hello. Wait a minute. YouTube, let me check. Oh, and then I can check if I put a link out as well, isn't it? Yes, I am live. Look, committee of 300. Right. Yeah, make sure I can do that on this. All right, people. Hold on. Bear with me. Invite guests, yeah. Let's try. Oh. Right, is that link there, people? Or do I need to put that on? I can pin it as well. No, I can't. It's not letting me pin that. I think I have to go to my YouTube, don't I? Let's check. Oh, yes. Look, Wait Street. Right. I've pinned the link. See if no, I've put the link in the chat. Hey, now I'm going to pin it. There we go. As long as you're coming in as friends, not foes. I'm only trying to help everyone send messages out there of what's really going on. So I've got a video to play, a little video. And you just watch it now. Oh, I had a thumbnail to put up for my stream. It didn't ask me. It didn't ask me to put. I had a committee of 300 thumbnail to go up. Didn't get a chance to put that up. How are we all doing, everyone, though? It's still fucking hot. So 30, 34, 35 Friday, 36, 37 Thursday. Now it's supposed to be 27 today. Like, that's a lot of degrees. The humidity is killing it. I went out for me roast earlier and I was in the pub. I changed pubs and I was getting too hot, man. I was in the garden of the lovely one near me, man, and it's just, I had to come home. What's time? 7:30. I'm not in work till Tuesday night, so I can drink today and tonight because I can sleep tomorrow, Monday night. I can sleep Monday and Monday night. Because I'm not into work, and Tuesday, because I'm not into work till Tuesday night. But obviously, can't just, you got stuff to do in it. You got to go shopping and everything. But I can get away with having some drinks now because I'm not in for a couple of nights. You know what I mean? I work hard, so I think I'm entitled to play a little. I used to play. I don't play hard no more. I used to play hard, but I used to work hard. Now I work hard and don't try to play hard because you can't keep burning the candle at both ends. Fucking it don't work, man. When you get to your late 40s, early 50s. Right. I'm not exactly enticing the audiences at the moment, am I? Then again, I rarely go live. I've got 2 of yous in here. Say hello, someone. My loyals. Peter, you out there? My mods, Annette. They're my loyals. I'm going to play this. Let's go. Right. Let's have a crack at this, everyone. This is a bit of the Committee 300. So, let's deep delve. Not deep delve. We ain't deep delving here. We ain't deep diving here. But let's dive in a little bit. And so when people say, who are they? Who are they? Well, I go there. The banksters, the globalists, the families, the CEO corporates, the owners of pharmaceutical companies, you know, your Bilderbergs, Rothschilds, all of them. But you got your Committee of 300 here, Club of Rome and all that, Vatican. But you've also got the 13 families above this lot, which consist of a couple of African families, a couple of Asian families, a couple of English European families, and a couple of American families. They're the big boys, the real gangsters in this world. You know, France, we all know France like to protest. Well, France last year and the year before were protesting against Macron taking presidency, enabling like loads of new powers for himself. And the French were protesting out of BlackRock's headquarters. So, you know, Larry Fink. So Larry Fink and Bill Gates, in the grand scheme of things, are low. They're just the puppets, aren't they? But don't think some of us out here don't know who the high ones are. We don't know you lot at the top. We don't know your names because you keep yourself elusive, you know, you keep yourselves away. But we'll find out one day. We're going to smoke you out. We're going to smoke you out. All right. Let's see it. Hold on. Share. How do I share this? Share screen. Yes. Committee of 300. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Ooh, there we go. How about that? All right, let's play. Does that come up for you, lot? Oh, no, I've got to add it to the stage. Hey, there we go. All right, let's play.
All right, let's dive in.
Yeah,
Today, we're going to break down the claims from one very specific and pretty controversial source, Dr. John Coleman's book, The Story of the Committee of 300. This book makes a wild claim that a secret group has been running the world for centuries. Now, we're not here to say if this is true or not. Our job is simply to explain what the book alleges. So, let's see what it has to say. You know that feeling, right? You hear people talking about some mysterious they who are secretly pulling all the strings behind the scenes. This idea that there's some hidden force really in charge of world events. Well, the book we're looking at today claims to put a name and even a number to that powerful, shadowy they. So the core idea here is that the governments we see on the news every day, presidents, prime ministers, all of that, they're just the public-facing part. The author alleges that above them, there's a whole other parallel government that's way more powerful and operates completely in the shadows. The author kicks things off with this quote, basically suggesting that this isn't some crazy out there idea. He's tapping into that common suspicion that a lot of people have, that the real power is somewhere else, and the people we elect are maybe just frontmen. Okay, so if there is an unseen government, who are they? Well, the author gives them a very specific name, the Committee of 300. And according to this book, this isn't just one of many groups. This is the absolute top of the pyramid, the very apex of global power. The source claims that it's a group of just 300 people who call themselves the Olympians, and they supposedly see themselves as being on a totally different level from the rest of us, almost like modern-day gods with a divine right to rule. The book says they've been secretly running the world this way for more than 100 years. So, you're probably wondering, how on earth could just 300 people control the entire planet? Well, the book claims they don't do it all by themselves. Instead, they operate through a huge network of organizations and institutions that you've probably heard of, which basically act as their hands and feet on the ground. And here's what that chain of command allegedly looks like. You've got the Committee of 300 at the very top, and they issue their directives down through this whole web of...
Let's stop there. Hold on. Right, here we go. Because I can see on the StreamYard, it's not very big on your lot screen, although you can see that, can't you? So there we go. The Committee of 300, Second Royal Institute for International Affairs, so RIIA. The Club of Rome, look, third. The Tavistock Institute, the Council. So remember the Sasco and Pascoe families, they're lower, way lower. So the Rothschild, look, Council of Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, Rothschilds around, or are they up there with the Committee of 300? Or are the Rothschilds with the 13 family? Because they got assets. So Bill Gates is well low down. What's his name? Larry Fink, head of BlackRock, they're low there. So the Committee of 300, that's not the top. It's not even, the next level is the 13 families, isn't it? And then the last capstone, like a reptile eye, isn't it? It's like an eye at the top. So when people say, oh, they're at the top and they play us off, they've been doing it for years. Well, well, listen, they're astrologically astute. Who was saying earlier, millionaire, the difference between billionaires and millionaires. Billionaires follow astrology, millionaires don't. So before people think they know it all, the bloodlines of the Illuminati, that's the same here as the Committee of 300, but there's another level, the 13 families, and another level, isn't there? Look, Club of Rome's third here. And that's the Vatican. So Israel isn't even on this list here. Wait a minute. Council of Foreign Relations and Tavistock Institute. That's Israel, isn't it, I suppose? The committee might involve the Rothschilds if they're that high. The Collins family. People don't talk about the Collins because they don't know about them. The 13 families have a couple of Asian families and a couple of African families in there at the top. Most continents are represented, probably South Africa, and South America. I think most corners of the world are represented, you know what I mean? All right, so let's carry on. I hope you lot can see that. Yeah.
Other powerful groups. And what's interesting is the book names real organizations like the Council on Foreign Relations and the Bilderberg Group, which are known for having super influential members from the worlds of politics, finance, and big business. To make this feel a little less abstract, the book gives a pretty chilling case study, the assassination of Italian Prime Minister Aldo Moro back in 1978. The claim is that Moro was pushing for Italy's industrial growth, and this went directly against the committee's agenda. So, the source alleges, he was threatened by none other than Henry Kissinger, who was supposedly acting for the Club of Rome. Moro didn't back down, and shortly after, he was kidnapped and murdered. Years later, actual court testimony apparently linked Kissinger to that threat, which for the author makes this a perfect example of how ruthless the committee can be. So why? Why would they do all of this? According to the author, it all serves one massive overarching goal. And now we get to what the book calls the committee's master plan, a detailed blueprint for creating a one-world government, or what some call a new world order. And one of the most shocking parts of this alleged plan is mass depopulation. The author claims the committee backed a report called Global 2000, which called for the elimination of 3 billion people by the year 2000. The book claims the committee has a chilling term for this so-called surplus population: useless eaters. The logic, according to the author, is that things like industrial progress and population growth use up natural resources, resources that this elite group supposedly believes belong only to them. Apparently, the full plan has 21 points, and they cover, well, everything. We're talking about a single global government with one currency, the complete destruction of any kind of national pride or identity, and an end to all industrialization to create what they call a post-industrial zero-growth society. The endgame described is nothing less than total control over every part of every person's life.
But wait a minute. A plan that radical? Wouldn't people rebel? Wouldn't there just be chaos everywhere? Well, according to the author, the committee's main weapon isn't brute force. It's something much quieter and more sophisticated: mass psychological warfare, designed to break society's spirit and shape what we want.
The book claims there's a specific 3-step playbook for this. First, they say specialized think tanks, like the Tavistock Institute, develop the psychological tactics. Step 2, they manufacture crisis, wars, financial crashes, social unrest, to get everyone feeling scared and confused. And finally, step 3, the media is used to manage public opinion and guide the demoralized population toward accepting whatever solution was planned all along. And a key piece of this control puzzle is a concept the source calls technotronics. The term is attributed to Zbigniew Brzezinski, a former national security advisor, and it basically describes a new kind of society where technology allows for a quiet, almost invisible type of total dictatorship. And to really drive this point home, the source includes this quote, attributed to Brzezinski, describing a future where it's possible to assert almost continuous control over every citizen and to maintain up-to-date files containing even the most personal details. I mean, that's a vision of a world with absolutely no privacy and no room for dissent.
And so, that's the story. We've just walked through the central claims from this one source. It's a narrative of a meticulous, planned, global takeover by a hidden elite. And the question it really forces you to ask is a big one. Is this a map of a hidden reality? Or is it one of the most detailed and elaborate conspiracy theories ever created? The book makes its case. But the conclusion? That's left up to you.
Meticulous and Machiavellian is a word they leave out a lot. There's a lot of Machiavellian people on here. Very meticulous. If you don't know, they hire the best psychiatrists, sociologists, to make sure they can brainwash us the best way they can, Then you're silly because they do. Same as advertisers. I went to school with amazing artists. They join the advertising world because they get paid a lot of money, but they advertise things like unhealthy food to children. You know, Gary Lineker, always part of the Walkers. He was only match of the day. So you got the corporations, haven't you? It all filters down. But if you go upwards, match of the day wasn't worth much. But Gary Lineker for Walker's Crisps was worth about 6 billion. So the powers that be, the corporations that own the BBC, also own Walker's Crisps. So Gary Lineker on the adverts for Walker's Crisps, keep him in match of the day, isn't it? But don't forget it's football. So crisps are no good for children. So the same as Ronaldo, you know, the man's worth billions, and he had the audacity to push I think it was a bottle of Coke aside and put a bottle of water there. And I thought, yeah, it's a good thing. But that wanker's paid by every fucking toxic drug going, isn't it, you know? But they just move their pieces around, don't they? Like a chessboard, you lot. You know, you get that Illuminati thing with a chessboard with the hands above it with the strings moving the pawns and the pieces on the chessboard. So the hands are your Bilderbergs, your Club of Rome, your Committee 300, moving the pieces around the chessboard. To keep us enslaved. Yeah, bread and circus, isn't it? I'm guilty of it, bit of football, but it's hard to watch any of it now because I know how corrupt it is. So there you go. We've all been guilty of bread and circus. The fucking world's so mad. If you don't have a release, fucking hell. Downtime for me is down the coast by the sea, swimming. But the fucking coast is dirty, the water's dirty. You know, I'm around sort of fucking nearly half a century now. I want to see the world. But these bastards, you know. See if I find another video. No one's commenting. Hey, yous lot. Well, I'm glad. I'm going to put right. So here, wait. I'm going to put a like here. 60 likes. Well, look, I put it to 61. I won't subscribe just yet. What's his name? The Breadcrumbs Project. Can you lot see this while I'm showing you? His 9 comments. Feels like we are in the middle of the plan. Pretty confident. Can you not see that? Yeah. Pretty confident you can remove all the ifs from the conversation, Coleman. It is no conspiracy theorist. He worked for intelligence agencies his entire professional life and took huge risks exposing his. You forgot to mention. Listen, wait a minute. 3,900 subs. You forgot to mention that he saw super secret documents that were from the Committee of 300. All right, hold up. Sure feels like this is more real each passing day. Our PM here in Canada is literally using the NWO term openly at this point. That's 3 months ago. Look, I've read the book, published early 90s. Much of what he says has come to pass. All right, new cars are coming with mandatory surveillance, criminal yet. If there's not a plan and these people don't exist, then the alternative argument would be that we have been electing incompetent, financially inept, warmongering head cases into power. Yeah. No, you was right at the start. They do exist. So, but they are what you said after. Yeah. Sociopathic. They're not well. They're easily manipulated. They're easily controlled and manipulated, Rob Walker, because they do a lot of dirt. They're scumbags. let's put a like on Rob Walker's comment there. Yes, Rob. There are a lot of scumbags in power. They do a lot of dirt and scumbaggery. They're disgusting people. Yeah, they're sociopaths. They're sociopaths. I don't think they have much empathy. Yeah, they're brought up like it. Echelon correct. This is BS. It's 300 families, not 300 people. I'm not sure. Do you know what I can't find on here? Is Trump addressing the 300 committee of 300. And it's funny you said that, Itch Bob Crane. I put a like there as well. I'm not sure. I put here, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's 300 people or 300 families. I think it's 300 people, you know, bro. And that's what I can't find on here, by the way, everyone. Trump addressing the committee of 300. Let me put this for everyone to... every president has to do it, by the way. Apparently, no, I know, not apparent. Right, I can't find the clip of when Trump, you could say was inaugurated, but I can't find the clip of when Trump was voted in. I'm going to put was voted in and had to address the committee. I'm going to spell that right now, right? The committee of 300, like every president has to. And they're not presidents, by the way, they're CEOs. It's long gone of it is they're CEOs of a company. They're still under maritime law, you know, but we'll go with president, like every sitting president has to. I can't find the clip of when Trump was voted in and had to address the committee of 300 like every sitting president has to. I'll put that. Because I looked at it earlier. I'll show you lot then. So I've pressed like. I haven't subscribed yet because, wait a minute, I'll go to his channel here. The Breadcrumbs Project. All right, I'll subscribe now. So, oh, look, what's this Q shit? He's probably Trump versus the Committee of 300. Wait, how long has he been? 3,900, yeah. The Israel, all right, yeah. Oh, John Coleman. Right, I've seen the John. I haven't watched any of these. Have I? Any of these shit? We've got the Storm versus the Committee of 300. I don't like seeing that Q there because we all know that was. I knew that was a load of shit from the second it come out. Never mind, we all know that was shit. The New World Order and the Old World Order. Right, look, something like this looks 10 views. This could be good. Let's have a little look at this.
Hello, welcome back to the Breadcrumbs Project. If you are new here, welcome. We are a first and foremost a history channel, and we are very focused on.
Wait a minute. Oh no! Wait, at this stage
of the world, really, and not.
Can you not hear that?
The re-educated or the reset history that we've been subject to for the last 2 to 300 to 1,000 years, depending
It's really
on how you
quiet,
want to
isn't it?
look at things. But uh, I've been getting in discussions on different platforms of people that have just absolutely bought into the
I'm coming back. I'm gonna go to the toilet. I
vision
can't
of
turn that up
Rome
any
being the
louder.
gladiator. Like that was the top of Rome. That gladiator was it, and they were just raw gladiator and that's just a rewrite of history, man. That's not Rome at all. That's not the Latin people at all. That's not the Latins by a long shot. Okay, it's definitely a human attribute, that whole gladiator thing of blood and lust. But the Latins were not about that. So I have drawn a clear and distinct uh, line between Latins and Romans. And we see it in the historical record, the Roman Empire and the Gallic Empire, and they shall be named the Gallic Empire. It's going to take me a while to stop calling them the Western Roman Empire, but that is just something that we have to do over time as our real history unfolds. And so uh, that is a charge that I'm going to take. I'm going to revive the Gaelic Empire as it really was, and not how the history rewrite was done. And I can promise you, the Gaelic Empire does not want me to do this. They were part of the history rewrite. The Western world has been under Roman rule for over 3,000 years. Not Roman rule, Latin rule. Latin rule by one means or another. So Latin rule, not Roman. Two distinct people. A Roman, an Italian will tell you that no, we're not Latin. We don't speak the Latin language. We speak Italian, and Italian are and Spanish are close, but we're nothing like Latin. So there's no reason to be calling Latin America and associating Spanish as a Latin language, because it's not. It's closer to Italian, it's closer to French, it's closer to Portuguese than it'll ever be to Latin. So, um, what started this adventure for the Breadcrumbs Project is just investigating the history. And I know this is a boring subject, boring, and I apologize. No one wants to know about this. Everybody that starts to hear about it without the maps, without the maps and solid information, they don't want to hear it because they're just absolutely, hate to use the word indoctrinated, but indoctrinated. I was too. Like Candace Owens, I'm in January 9th, 2026. I don't know when you're watching this, but Candace Owens is a political commentator who has stumbled upon a bunch of information, and history is being rewritten for her. And she admits that the old way that she was doing things was the way that most people think now. But just when you see things, you can't unsee them anymore. You cannot. And so I can't look at history the way that 99% of the world, Western world, looks at history. And so I'm one of those one percenters that's just going to be arguing until we're 2%, until we're 3%, until we're 4%, and we get the true history of what happened. And this map right here is the one that forced me to relook at everything. You can't look at it closely. You can zoom in after the recording, or you can find the map yourself. The map's name is. Whoa. Hold on here, people. Of course, it's going to do this when we're live. But it's Nova Hispania, it's Nova Galicia. And the date is supposed to be 1665.
1665.
I'm going to zoom in on this map.
So what? Where's
The
this?
very first thing that you have to notice at this point is that this is on the Pacific side of Mexico.
All right. So we'll get to Sescovitz. That's in England now. 1666 in a minute. Great Fire of London.
When
The Plague. 1665.
Columbus, the Portuguese, discovered the Antilles Islands in 1492. So you're telling me that 150 years, the Spanish leapfrogged over the Mexican peninsula, did not populate and inhabit the Gulf of Mexico side, which it took them a while to get there because they had to leapfrog a lot of islands and they were exploring a lot of new land. And so they got to Cuba before they made it to mainland Mexico. So for this map to be from 1665 is absolutely impossible because this map is populated
Wow.
with a bunch of cities and ports on the Pacific side of Mexico. In 1665, this is absolutely and utterly impossible, logistically and realistically. Because you look at the eastern side of this map, the Gulf of Mexico side, and it's all unexplored.
That's
What
what
they
it took.
have seen
So when did?
is, like they say up here, cannibals, naked people that are only interested in hunting. So, and these people over here are cannibals. So this is all unexplored areas. This is the greatest silver mine that they had found to this.
It's going to be after the
which we know Mexico
Incas.
was filled with silver.
That's
They
civilized.
were mining silver in
Yeah, they had a good
1665
civilization.
out of this mine. Not possible.
They would have gone through medieval
possible.
times like
And
England,
the other thing that just makes it impossible to see a Spanish map,
Dark Ages.
it does have the name Nova Hispania.
Hmm.
Okay. But
And Spain would have
understand
colonized it, wouldn't it?
that's the Latin name for the Iberian Peninsula. It's not the Latin name for Spanish, quite the opposite. Latin was long established and used in the Iberian Peninsula before the Spanish language was established and created. So Nova España precedes Nueva España et Nova Galicia. Something that we've come to appreciate in this channel over the last couple of weeks. New information. Sorry, I'm going to mute to cough.
Right, enough of this. We was on the committee of 300, weren't we? Oh, this was his channel though. So that's the up. So I've subscribed at the moment. I will unsubscribe if I don't like it. But let's fucking.
All right, let's dive in.
Well, that was him. So what else we got? Well, John Coleman. So he took the clip from there. But that's 59 minutes. Let's get a quick.
Dr. John Coleman rips the lid off the conspiratorial group which knows no national boundaries, is above the law.
Hold on. I've got to add this. I've got to remove that. Oh, no. Add that to the stage. Right. Can you lot hear this? Let me start that again.
Dr. John Coleman rips the lid off the conspiratorial group which knows no national boundaries, is above the law of all countries and controls every aspect of politics, commerce, religion, industry, banking, insurance, mining, and even the drug trade. Learn how this small elite group who are answerable to no one, except its members, have pulled the strings on all major world events and why, until now, few people have even been aware of its existence, let alone power, in manipulating the affairs of the entire world. All of these members are revealed, including all of the corporations, government agencies and various movements which they have developed and controlled to further their own aims for world domination. Can you imagine an all-powerful group that knows no national boundaries, that has set itself above the laws of all countries, one that controls every aspect of politics, religion, commerce and industry, banking, insurance, mining, the drug trade?
The petroleum industry, a group answerable to no one but its members? To the vast majority of us, such a group would appear to be beyond the realms of possibilities and capabilities of any given organization. If that is what you believe, then you are in the majority. The concept of a secret, elite group exercising control of every aspect of our lives is beyond our comprehension. Americans are prone to say, "It can't happen here, our Constitution forbids it." That there is such a body called the Committee of 300, is graphically told in this book. When most people attempt to address our problems, they speak or write about they. This book tells precisely who they are, and what they have planned for our future. It tells how they have been at war with the American nation for over 50 years, a war that we, the people, are losing. It tells what methods they use and exactly how they have us all brainwashed. If you are puzzled and perplexed as to why things are occurring that we as a nation don't like yet seem powerless to prevent, why it is that the United States always seems to back the wrong horse, why our former social and moral values have been turned aside and seemingly buried, if you are confused by the many conspiracy theories, then the conspirators' hierarchy, the Committee of 300 will clearly establish that these conditions have been deliberately created to bring us to our knees. Once you have read the appalling truths contained in this book, understanding past and present political, economic, social and religious events will no longer be a problem. This powerful account of the forces ranged against the United States, and indeed the entire free world, cannot be ignored.
There you go.
We joined at the sit. We live side by side.
Great thing about this job, every day is different.
Imagine you're sitting in the most powerful room in the world, not the Oval Office, not the floor of the United Nations. It does not appear in any official record. The men who meet inside it are not elected by anyone. They answer to no constitution and no court. And yet the decisions made inside that...
Oh.
Imagine you're sitting in the most powerful room in the world, not the Oval Office, not the floor of the United Nations. It does not appear in any official record. The men who meet inside it are not elected by anyone. They answer to no constitution and no court. And yet the decisions made inside that room, or so the theory goes, reach into every corner of your daily life. The price you pay for fuel, the news you are allowed to see, the wars that are started and the wars that are stopped, the leaders who rise and the leaders who fall, all of it according to a former British intelligence analyst named John Coleman, who spent decades trying to document what he called the most dangerous organization in the history of the world, decided in advance by a group of precisely 300 men. Coleman called them the Committee of 300. He said they had been running the world for over 2 centuries from behind the institutions we are taught to trust, that governments are their front offices, that the United Nations is their public face, that the banks, the media companies, the pharmaceutical giants, the intelligence agencies, the cultural establishments of the Western world are all, in his words, subsidiaries of a single holding company that most people will live and die without ever knowing exists. Now, before we go any further, I want to be clear about something. John Coleman was not a fringe blogger writing from a basement. He published books. He was cited by researchers. He gave lectures. His claims were detailed, and his documentation was extensive, even where his conclusions remain fiercely contested. And the theory he produced, whatever its relationship to verifiable fact, touches on something that is genuinely difficult to dismiss. The concentration of power in the modern world is real. The revolving doors between governments and corporations and intelligence services are real. The clubs and foundations and councils that bring the world's most powerful people together behind closed doors are real. The question of whether all of this represents coordinated design, or merely the self-reinforcing logic of wealth and power is one of the most serious questions in modern political life, and it deserves to be taken seriously. This is an attempt to do that, to go back into the historical record and the primary source material, to trace the lineage of the theory and the lineage of the institutions it targets, and to ask with as much honesty as we can manage what is actually there when you look. We will start where every serious inquiry into hidden power has to start, with the oldest, and in some ways still the most revealing of the institutions that Coleman and other researchers point to as the original model for global corporate governance. We will start with the British East India Company. Because if you want to understand how a private organization can come to function as a government, how a commercial enterprise can accumulate the power to make war and set policy and control the flow of information across an entire civilization, the East India Company is not a theory. It is a fact, a documented.
Yeah, we know.
Where is everyone?
Fuck off
Sorry,
adverts.
chef. The kitchen staff won the lot.
We know it's
Undeniable, astonishing historical fact, and it is where this story begins. The British East India Company was founded on the last day of the year 1599, when a group of London merchants obtained a royal charter from Queen Elizabeth I, granting them a monopoly on trade with the East Indies. They were given the right to conduct their own military operations. They were given the right to govern their own territories.
169.
They were given in practice the power of a sovereign state without any of the accountability of one.
Let's learn
At
some
the height
history,
of their power,
everyone.
they maintained a private army of over 200,000 men, larger than the standing army of the British Crown itself. They governed a subcontinent of hundreds of millions of people. They controlled the opium trade out of India into China
There we go.
on a scale that addicted an estimated 10 million Chinese citizens and generated revenue that funded the entire British imperial enterprise. They ran their own court system.
Money
They
off the debt.
minted their own currency. They made their own treaties with foreign powers, and they did all of this as a private company, accountable to its shareholders, not to the people it governed or the governments it nominally served. This is the institution that John Coleman and others point to as the original template for what they call the deep state. Not a government operating in secret, but a corporation operating as a government. The distinction matters enormously. A government, even a corrupt one, exists within a framework of law and accountability that can in principle be reformed. A corporation exists to serve its shareholders. Its obligations are to profit and to continuity. Its incentive structure is entirely different. And the East India Company demonstrated across nearly 2.5 centuries of operation that a sufficiently powerful corporation, given the right conditions, can absorb the functions of government while remaining immune to the accountability that governments are in theory subject to. The company was formally dissolved in 1874, following the Indian Rebellion of 1857, which the British called the Sepoy Mutiny. A catastrophic breakdown in the company's control of its territory that resulted in the British Crown assuming direct governance of India. The official story is that the East India Company ended there, that it was wound up, that its assets were transferred to the Crown, and its people dispersed into the broader British establishment. And in a legal and organizational sense, that is true. But there is a question that the theory of the Committee of 300 asks with considerable force, and that is worth sitting with for a moment. When the most powerful private organization in the history of the world is dissolved, where do the networks go? Where do the relationships go? Where does the accumulated knowledge of how to run an empire from behind a commercial front end up? In the wastepaper basket or somewhere else? Coleman's argument and it is an argument that deserves engagement rather than dismissal, is that the networks formed inside the East India Company did not dissolve with the company itself, that they migrated, that they embedded themselves in the new institutions of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the banks, the think tanks, the foundations, the intelligence services, the private clubs that form the connective tissue of the British and then the Anglo-American establishment, that the Committee of 300 is not a new organization.
Here we go.
It is the continuation of the oldest and most powerful network in the modern world under a succession of different institutional forms. I want to be careful here because this is the point at which legitimate historical observation and conspiracy theory tend to part ways. The historical observation is sound. Networks of power do not dissolve when their institutions are formally wound up. The men who ran the East India Company knew each other. They trusted each other. They had accumulated relationships with governments and courts and financial institutions across the world. Those relationships were real, and they persisted beyond the company's formal existence. The conspiracy theory claim is stronger. It says these networks were consciously maintained and deliberately directed towards specific global objectives by an identifiable group of people across generations. That is a much harder claim to substantiate, but it is also a much harder claim to simply dismiss when you begin to look at the institutions that emerged in the decades following the company's dissolution and the people who built them. In the 1880s and 90s, a network of British imperialists centered around the figure of Cecil Rhodes, the diamond magnate, the founder of what is now Rhodesia and Zimbabwe, and the man whose scholarship still sends American students to Oxford every year, began to develop a coherent vision for the future of Anglo-American power that would have been entirely familiar to anyone who had spent time running the East India Company. Rhodes believed that the English-speaking peoples represented the highest form of human civilization. He believed that their continued global dominance was both morally justified and historically necessary. And he believed that this dominance could best be secured not through the clumsy machinery of formal empire, which generated resistance and required constant, expensive military maintenance, but through something more subtle, through the cultivation of a shared culture, shared educational institutions, shared elite networks, shared values, and above all, a shared sense of mission among the people who would end up running the institutions that governed the world. Rhodes funded this vision. He funded it with the fortune he had made from the diamond and gold fields of southern Africa.
He's a slave trader.
Built on the labor of African workers under conditions that amounted to industrial slavery. He established scholarships. He funded societies.
Off the back
he made provision in multiple wills. The famous final will of 1877 specified the formation of a secret society dedicated to the extension of British rule throughout the world and the colonization by British settlers of the entire continent of Africa, the Holy Land, the Valley of the Euphrates, the islands of Cyprus and Candia, the whole of South America, the islands of the Pacific, the Malay Archipelago, the seaboard of China and Japan, and the ultimate recovery of the United States of America as an integral part of the British Empire.
Integral part.
He was not a modest man.
Of the Commonwealth.
And the men who gathered around his vision were not modest either.
Still there now.
The organization that came closest to operationalizing this vision was the Round Table Movement, founded in 1909 by a group of British imperialists that included Alfred Milner, who'd been Rhodes's administrator in South Africa, and who was arguably the most influential British statesman of the early 20th century that most people have never heard of. Milner's network
Yeah,
which
Milner,
historians have
Milner,
documented
the
with
million
considerable thoroughness,
Palmer, Hay,
included men who occupied senior positions in British
what's that?
government, finance,
The
journalism, and
Rothschilds building.
education simultaneously, and who worked to align those institutions around a coherent vision of Anglo-American world governance. George Quigley, an American historian who taught at Georgetown University and who was not a conspiracy theorist but a mainstream academic, documented the Round Table Network and its successors in his 1966 book, Tragedy and Hope.
1966.
Quigley's conclusion, based on years of archival research, was that the network he was describing was real, was powerful, and had played a significant role in shaping the 20th century. He was not celebrating this. He was documenting it. The Round Table movement spun off a series of organizations in the early 20th century that are still with us today and that still sit at the center of the theory of the Committee of 300. The Royal Institute of International Affairs, better known as Chatham House, founded in London in 1920. Its American counterpart, the Council on Foreign Relations, founded in New York in the same year. The Bilderberg Group first convened in 1954 at the Hotel de Bilderberg in the Netherlands, which brought together senior figures from Western governments, corporations, banks and media organizations for annual private discussions whose proceedings were for decades kept entirely secret. The Trilateral Commission, founded in 1973 by David Rockefeller and Zbigniew Brzezinski, to coordinate policy among the elites of North America, Western Europe, and Japan. These organizations exist. Their membership lists, where public, read like a directory of Western establishment power. Their annual meetings bring together heads of state, central bank governors, the chief executives of the largest financial institutions in the world, the editorial leadership of major newspapers and broadcasters, and when they meet, they do not do so in public.
Well, hello there, Frank. Frank, yeah. Hi, Oneness. The Rhodes Milner Group, big players setting stage for World War I, World War II. So now what? BSAC, British South Africa Company, yeah? So like SD says, reminds us all, like, remember the Rothschilds financed England, didn't they, in World War One? So that's 1914 to 1918. And in return, Lord Balfour had to write the letter to Rothschild. That's the Balfour Declaration, isn't it? 1917. So actually the World War One hadn't finished. So the Rothschilds funded this country during that. And the Balfour Declaration was signed in 1917. They took it in 1949, isn't it? It's just a shame so many people got to die through all this crap, isn't it? Frank, TLC plus CFR, that infamous Jeffrey, a member of both. Yeah, I'm not sure there, Frank, but you got British South Africa Company. Did this come after this East India Company then, Frank? I'll carry on playing this then, Frank. Yeah. I think it's pretty factual, isn't it, Frank? I'll carry on playing this. Yeah.
Their discussions are private. Their conclusions are not published. Their influence on policy is real but informal,
Is it
operating through the relationships they
fucking
build
like
and the
Jeffrey
consensus
Epstein
they
Island or
shape,
something? Fucking hell.
rather than through any formal decision-making process. Now,
What's
is
that
this
like?
sinister? That depends on how you look at it.
Wait a minute. What, like some Jeffrey Epstein? Fed set up America just before World War, kicked off Jekyll Island. Mentioned they had me. Yeah. Trilateral Commission. Yeah. Yes. They've changed all their names now, Frank, haven't they? Do you remember? Trilateral Commission, yeah. It used to be, what is it? So it's WEF now, but it's IMF, wasn't it? International Monetary Fund. So now it's WEF now, World Economic Fund or something, you know what I mean? Like they have to quickly skip names, isn't it, Frank? George Guidestone's not that far from Jekyll Island, Rocky Mansions. Yeah, man. All right, I didn't know, but it just for me, it shows how scary it is, Frank. Because these lunatics, you know, my whole thing here now, Frank, is I'm sticking my neck out. I'm putting up about the Committee of 300. As I caught a little bit earlier of SD's live, Frank, about the Illuminati bloodlines. So us people are sticking our necks out, you know what I mean, Frank? Make sure I don't die of some car crash, you know, because we've said already, whistleblowers that work amongst the serious things, pharmaceutical and technology, apparently something ridiculous like 300 a week. I thought it's 300 a day, but 300 a week whistleblowers die, Frank. So it's all well and good we're on here putting videos up about Committee of 300 and Families of 13, Club of Rome. We all know they're true, you know. They're not lies, they're true. And if you get a following, they get the ump. And they try and they will shut people up, Frank, you know what I mean? So I'm going to play these videos. I'm just trying to show people like who really runs things. You know, they say, who's they? I was down the pub earlier and they're being facetious or cantankerous. Like they say they, who's they? They already know who they is. I said the bankers, the families, the globalists, you know, we know who they is now. So don't, you know, it's boring, you know, but you got to be careful, Frank, on here, you know. BIS, Basel top hierarchy of governance since created from World War I embers as planned. I know. We're sticking our neck out here, you know. SD had a video for, was it Bloodline? Illuminati Bloodlines. Listen. Shield Destroyer, anyone who listens to this, go to his channel. Go to the start of mine. Frank, did you see the start of mine? Because I had the families up earlier. Club of Rome was down in about 4th. Committee of 300 was at top. But like I said, there's another level of the 13 families. They're represented by a couple of Asian families, a couple of African families, a couple of European families, a couple of American, South American families, North American families, isn't it? So we go higher than the Club of 300. The Club of Rome's below that. I recommend if anyone's tuned in early, if you can be bothered, go back. I played a video earlier, Frank. Did you see it? Committee of 300. Shall I play it again? 13 families is red herring oneness. They are not the only lower down, also far, far wider diaspora. Well, maybe, Frank. I wouldn't disbelieve that. But they're families that are not in the media, you know. You don't hear, well, Maxwell's and Biden's, Rothschilds, they're all high, but they're not at the top. There's a lot of names I won't say now are way higher than them, Frank. But the Vatican's up there, but Club of Rome was about 4th down. I've got to go back to what I played earlier. Hold on. Frank. What's this one here? Let's try this one quickly anyway.
Have you ever heard of the Council of 300? Council of 300 is based...
Oh. It's playing, isn't it?
basically what we would call the Illuminati, and it connects directly to the cult of the Black Cube. So this was originally written by Dr. John Coleman in the book called Conspirators Hierarchy, The Story of the Committee of 300. He claims that there's a shadow elite ruling the world behind the scenes, but there's multiple names for them. There's Council of 300, also the Hidden Hand, or the Olympians. Interesting. 300 top tier individuals that would be royalty, banking, dynasties, and corporate heads, including the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Windsors, and high-level Vatican officials. This is why people are like, well, this isn't real because there's no record of it. Of course there's no record of it. The ultimate goal of the Committee of 300 is the creation of the one world government.
Yeah.
One thing this Dr. John Coleman writes about is that the Council of 300, they use this thing called the
Hegelian dialectic.
Yeah, often reinterpreted as the problem, reaction, solution mechanism. So it's a mechanism used by the elites. So it's a three-step process. One, problem, a manufactured crisis, terrorist attack, pandemic, economic collapse. Two, reaction, the public's emotional response. So the public's like, you got to do something to save us. And then three is solution. So the elites pre-planned solution that wouldn't have been accepted otherwise. An example, surveillance laws, war, lockdowns. Have you ever heard of the Council of 300? Council of 300 is based.
Did that come through you lot? Was that playing? Was that playing, Frank? Frank, go easy on me on the comments, man. I'm tired. Elon's family Hall of Honor, is that on the list 13? No, you already know why. No, Elon's family's way lower, Frank. This list is high, Frank. It's old, Frank. To join them, oh, fucking hell, John C. would have been required to be a master of the I don't remember the two live rituals. John C. another limited hangout. Yeah. All right. I hear you, Frank. I hear you. But I'm going on about the Committee of 300, Frank. It's not, and the first, well, you're saying it's a ruse. It's not, is it? I don't know, man. There's families at the top, Frank, isn't it? Yeah, I bet we don't know their name. Collins. Look at all the dictionaries. Do you know how many? If your name is made to a dictionary, then or a Bible. So if there's a Bible, right, if you make money off of every dictionary, that's called Collins. That's a lot of money, you know. It's billions and billions and billions. And if you own the patent to the color blue, hold on, right. What else we got?
I did a video recently about the Committee of 300.
Yeah.
And
give me a sec. Hold on. I'm coming back. Hold on. We're sticking our neck out talking about such things, Frank. We are.
Named off some of the names of the people in the Committee of 300 book by John Coleman. Some of them, if not all, were connected to Freemasonry. And my aunt and uncle mentioned this to me, and I didn't really think about it. But then it has a lot of similarity to the Mormon religion because I live in Utah. And I dated a guy, and they wear garments. And they also call them G's.
Yeah, the garment.
And they are said to be protective, clothing for them. But embroidered on these garments are Freemasonry symbols. And so that's how I know that it's a branch of the Freemason religion.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you, Frank. Wise Club of Rome, HQ in Zurich. I know what Switzerland is. The mountains. Come on, follow the money. Yeah, definitely. They got the Swiss Guard, haven't they? Or the Jesuits. But it's like people say, why is the Swiss Guard the guard of the Vatican? Zurich, yeah. And, during wars, they get left alone, don't they?
Shrouded in secrecy and conspiracy, the Committee of 300 is rumored to be a powerful group controlling world events from the shadows. Allegedly founded by the British aristocracy in the 18th century, this group is said to consist of 300 elite members, including royalty, politicians, and corporate leaders. Conspiracy theorists claim that the Committee of 300 orchestrates global policies, economic crises, and even wars to maintain their power and influence. From controlling the world's financial systems to manipulating media narratives, the committee is believed to pull the strings behind major global events. While some dismiss these claims as mere conspiracy, others argue that the concentration of power among a few elites...
Hold on, is that David Attenborough? Oh, my neighbours, I think I'm upsetting my neighbours' dogs. What's the time? Fuck me, it's early. I went up, you lot know I work nights. I had my roast dinner. Listen, that sounds like David Attenborough telling us about conspiracy. Frank, oneness, no one gets into without being... yeah, well, you want to know that, Frank, fuck's sake. Frank, don't this thing sound like David Attenborough? Yeah.
This makes the existence of such a group plausible. Remember, the truth is often hidden beneath layers of secrecy. Thanks for watching. Shrouded in secrecy and conspiracy, the Committee of 300 is rumored...
Okay. Right, let's get well. What's it? Making it creepy, isn't it? Hold on. Right, hold on. Sorry.
And Committee of 300 after 28 years of research. They are seen as the root of global issues and aspire to dominate humanity. Step 1. The ideology of the Committee of 300. The Committee of 300 believes might is right. Beings with superior intelligence should rule over the less gifted masses, as they assume the masses don't know what's best for them. The notion that a small elite group should dictate based on intelligence is a central tenet of the Committee of 300's ideology. Step 2. Pawns in the Game by Naval Commander William Guy Carr, 1954. Carr warned about an international conspiracy that could lead to a global conflict. He cited an act of God in 1784 that exposed the ongoing Luciferian conspiracy involving Adam Weishaupt and the House of Rothschild. Carr's predictions about the conspirators triggering a world war align with the current global tensions. Step 3. Adam Weishaupt and the Luciferian conspiracy. Weishaupt, a former Jesuit-trained professor, embraced Luciferian ideology in 1770. The moneylenders and House of Rothschild enlisted him to revise ancient protocol.
Hold on, a Jesuit, something or another, embraced, this stuff's beautiful. Let's listen to that. Let's go back a minute. Hold up.
A former Jesuit-trained professor embraced Luciferian ideology
Luciferian
in
ideology.
1770. The moneylenders and House of Rothschild enlisted him to revise ancient protocols for ultimate world domination.
He embraced Luciferian ideology in the House of fucking Rothschild. That's worth a fucking replay.
Step 3. Adam Weishaupt and the Luciferian conspiracy. Weishaupt, a former Jesuit-trained professor, embraced Luciferian ideology in 1770. The moneylenders and House of Rothschild enlisted him to revise ancient protocols for ultimate world domination. Weishaupt's shift from Christianity to Luciferianism demonstrates the ideological shift that drove his actions. Step 4. The plan for world domination. Weishaupt aimed to destroy existing governments and religions. He planned to divide the masses into opposing camps using various issues, leading to armed conflict that would weaken nations. Weishaupt's strategy of creating divisions to destabilize governments is reminiscent of modern political and social conflicts. Step 5. The birth of the Illuminati. Weishaupt established the Illuminati in 1776 with the intention of implementing his plan. The term Illuminati is derived from Lucifer, meaning holders of the light.
Of the
He
light.
recruited intelligent individuals from various fields. The Illuminati's formation and recruitment strategy highlight how influential groups can be created to drive an agenda. Step 6. Manipulative tactics of the Illuminati. Weishaupt's revised plan included using bribery and blackmail to control influential individuals. These tactics would ensure loyalty and compliance. Weishaupt's methods of control show the extent to which the Illuminati was willing to go to achieve their goals. Step 7. Infiltration of institutions. The Illuminati infiltrated multiple societal facets, including the FBI, CIA, DOJ, military, and even the Biden administration and White House, as confirmed by FBI Special Agent Ted Gunderson. The infiltration of institutions echoes concerns about the influence of secretive groups on powerful organizations. Step 8. The Committee of 300's objectives. The Committee of 300's aims include establishing a one-world government and a controlled population under non-elected oligarchs. The population would be limited, social classes abolished, and a single religion imposed. The Committee of 300's vision for a highly controlled society raises questions about personal freedoms and individuality. Step 9. One World Government implementation. The One World Government would enforce uniform laws through world courts and a unified police force. Private ownership of weapons would be prohibited, and only one sanctioned religion would be allowed. The proposed One World Government structure has parallels with dystopian concepts in literature and film. Conclusion. The concepts outlined in this text present a provocative view of secretive organizations and their potential influence on global affairs. While the accuracy of these claims may be debated, they offer insight into the realm of conspiracy theories and their impact on popular culture and discourse. Source: Truth Justice TM at Sparta Justice. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and
Yeah. Did you hear that caveat at the end? In case you believe this, go and seek medical advice. Listen, we all know that is a bit of AI, but the people that took the jab, they're the ones that need to go and seek medical advice, psychological. If you follow Bill Gates, you need to go and seek psychological advice. If you take jabs off of people like Boris Johnson, strongly advising you to take the jab, I suggest you go and seek medical advice. If you think chemtrails are an illusion, if you think 9/11 wasn't an orchestrated event, planned event, if you think 7 and all of them. And no, actually, a lot of you are all doing too well. You're all too comfortable. I saw this before. I've seen, yeah, you're all doing too well. When the food shortages come, regardless of your job and your position in society, yeah, when the playing field starts leveling out, regardless of your so-called intellect, when AI is doing your job for you and the playing field starts leveling out, then we're going to start seeing what real intellect and intelligence is, because it's going to be about surviving. Then we'll see how intelligent you are. When there's no food and no water, we'll see all them books you read. but there's no food and no water left. What are you going to eat them books? What else we got? What's this? Oneness. Right. How many's in here? 5. SD, listen. Frank said, Oneness, I've left SD's channel. Auditron blocked me for questioning respectfully and did not wish to answer because supports consents to the constitution jurisdiction of the bar. He keeps forgetting they've got a constitution over there, Frank. I keep telling him we haven't got a constitution over here. Frank, why is SD live now, Frank, or something? If he is, or when I next speak to him, I'll put in the comments that he's done that before to me. He might have only blocked you for 24 hours, Frank. Did it say? And that'd be horrible. He might have just blocked you for 5 minutes, Frank. He's one of only about 2 mods on there. SD don't play. He's got about 2 mods. I've known him 6 years and he won't put me as a mod. He's a fucking mod on my channel. So Frank, yeah, I think I could be the lovely Shelley. She's a mod on my channel as well. And Auditron is a mod on SD's channel, Frank. He blocked me before, only for I think 5 or 24 hours. I was pissed at SD at that. I remember that actually, Frank. I'm with you there, Frank. I remember Auditron got away with blocking me and SD. He laughs, didn't he? What's this Oneness? The bar guild. The bar, we know the Temple Bar in Charing Cross. So the bar. So if you go into court, if you give your jurisdiction away, if they say, "Are you Mr. Frank?" Well, you got your name there, Frank O'Brien. They would say, "Are you Mr.?" And you go, "Yes." Right, you give your jurisdiction away already. The judge has got jurisdiction over you now, because now he's using your fictitious character. And when you go into the dock, so it's maritime, isn't it? It's all maritime. So you go into you touch the bar, Frank. When you touch the bar, you haven't got the license to touch the bar. So now they see you as a dead corporation. And you go into the dock, don't you? More maritime law. You go into the dock and the judge won't talk to you anymore because you've said you're your fictitious character. So he says, I can only talk to your representative. So that's your lawyer and that, isn't it? But it's all about 1666, Frank, like you pointed out, bro. It's the Seskovitz Act, Frank. That's it there. That's when they took control of us all. Just had to be when they done the Great Fire of London and all that. But the Seskovitz Act was the birth certificate, Frank. Yeah. We agree on that now. So if my live does anything, Frank, the eclipse was a couple of days ago. If anyone's 1666, everyone look up the Seskovitz Act. That's when government and that owned us as property. But we can get out of that, by the way. Yeah. So the Magna Carta was 1215. That was supposed to be our constitution, but we haven't got one. Yeah, is SD live, Frank? It is has Aldi blocked you recently, Frank, or last night or something? I'll have a check. Oneness consent to Seskovitz, that's okay. Plus honourable, it securitizes the money system. Oneness consent to Seskovitz. You sure, Frank, though? But if we come out, we can have our own trust, can't we, Frank? Our own private trust, and they can't. We can offer tax. They can't take it, Frank. You know, they take it, Frank, when you're on PAYE. They just take it. But if you come out and have your own trust, you have to offer the tax, isn't it, Frank? You know what I mean? Bar, citizens, human, person, Mr. Mrs. Person, jurisdiction, yeah. One is the electoral roll, registration that can get your name rescinded, fella. Well, I never take any notice of any of them. I only voted once in my life. I think I turned 18 or something, but a number like that, and I was allowed to vote, and it was Labour, and it wasn't fucking Blair. It was what's his name before Blair, or was it Blair? I don't know. 92 or 94. That would have been 92 or 94. No, I was about 16 in 92. 94, I was 18. So would that have been Blair's first term? Things can only get better. Can only get better. When I think. That's what they was blasting around South East London. Everyone was like, fuck, it was Tories. It was John Major. The spitting image had John Major as this grey fucking deaf man. And then the fucking Murdoch Empire went to town, sent all these cars out playing that band. Someone will put it in the chat in a minute, because I'm being lazy-minded. I can't remember the band name of that tune. Things can only get better. It's on the tip of my tongue. Frank. When a Maxwell paper wants to get a company, you know, it's so corrupt, as we know. But don't forget, Bill Gates' mum was a Maxwell. So we all know his dad was a Nazi eugenicist, sterilizing people, as Bill Gates has done in India and Africa. His mum was a Maxwell, you know, media. It's all the committee of 300, isn't it? Dereem. See, Dereem. And is that the one who's a scientist now? Was he in that band, you know? I'm sure it's him. Irish Pants Baby Music. Yeah, things can only get better. No, I don't think it's that band. I think it's Pulp or Blur. I think it's Blur. One of the band members is that one, Cox. The fucking, apparently he's a universal expert. But he was a fucking singer, weren't he? 1997, Blair got in first. Was it, Frank? Right, so I voted once when I left school, Frank. So thank fuck it weren't him then. I weren't voting for him. Brian Cox was keyboard player, not the Irish singer. But what band was it, Frank, again, that he was keyboard player? And look, Blair, so good. I never fucking voted for that cunt. I voted for who was the Labour leader before him, and I can't remember his name. Obviously, I'm going to have to look his name. He died at 54 of a heart attack. They slipped Blair in. Labour leader before Tony Wanker Blair. What was his name? John Smith or something, weren't it? What was his name? John Smith, it was. Look, I just got in time. John Smith led the party from July 92. Look, Frank, John Smith led the party from July 1992 to May 1994. See? Margaret Beckett served as an... Obviously, Neil Kinnock before that. There you go, Pete. It's John Smith. Just checked it. Yep, 1997. Well, look, John Smith. So hold on, they're saying John Smith here. What did I just say? John Smith, they're saying, was to 94. So who was not? So who was between 94 and 97 then, Frank? Surely John Smith had a heart attack in 94, Frank. And they wasn't in power. Labour wasn't in power at the time, actually. Okay. So did they have a spell without a leader and then they slipped Tony Blair in? Because Tony Blair come in before Labour were in power. So he did win the election, actually, the cunt. That day I was off work in bed, ill. Remember watching Blair's drive to see the Queen's bright blue sky hot days. It was John Major, the Grey Man. So there's a gap between 94 till 97 then, Frank. At the moment, with our calculations. So who was our leader when we went? Right, so we didn't get involved in the first Iraq war, did we? The first Iraq war was something like the early 90s, weren't it? Yeah, 92. Which was Bush Senior. First Iraq, 1991. 1991 Gulf War was an international conflict triggered by Iraq's August 2nd, 1990 invasion of Kuwait. A US-led coalition of 42 nations launched Operation Desert Storm on January the 17th, 1991, and a 100-hour ground offensive on February the 24th, successfully liberating Kuwait. See, that was Bush Senior. They don't want us passing this message on, you know. I do these lives, Frank. When the internet goes down, they got internet 2 ready, Frank. So all this shit's going to go. So I hope if anyone finds my lives interesting, please film them on a camera, not your phone. I mean an old VHS or something. If you think anything I've got to say is worth any value, play it back. I mean, VHS could go, innit? Anything. That's why people done, so they call it scripture, but it comes scribing. So a cave. So if you was going to try and send a message on, so everyone's saying now, you're going to put a message on a chip. It can all go in it. One IM, what do they call him? IM, you know, an electrical, also an EMP, an electrical magnetical pulse. It can wipe out all the chips, all the memories. So we probably had this technology before. It's widely speculated. We have. If you're going to try and if you scribe a message in a cave that you hope lasts about 2,000 years, that's one way of passing a message on, isn't it? To future, all your grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, isn't it? You know? Are you with me? Are you staying with me, Frank? You know, because mountains and caves can crumble as well, can't they? But how can you try and write something that's going to last about 2,000 years? Well, you can try in a cave, can't you? And if there's caves that have been around for 4,000 years and our ancestors have written in them, then that's where a lot of our knowledge probably comes from, and is hidden from us, I believe. Would you agree, Frank? I reckon there's a lot of knowledge that's hidden from us. So like now, we'd say if we was going to have a warning to our children, our grandchildren that don't have any government, so we could write it now on paper, right? Paper can burn. Computer chips, all this internet's going to go. By the way, I was getting at that, by the way. They said there's an internet too, just ready and waiting. The military use another internet anyway. There's loads of it, different Google, isn't it? So they're going to drop all this. So all these videos are going to go. Yeah, so that was my point, by the way. If anyone thinks not just mine, there's videos on here worth making sure the future generations can hear. Anti-establishment videos, you know, or telling the truth. Don't trust your politicians. Don't trust them ever. We know that. Then film these videos, everyone, on old devices, VHS recorders or something. So when this internet goes, some of these messages and videos will carry on to the future generations to never trust governments and money and politics and forget religion. Religion isn't mentioned in the Bible. The word religion isn't mentioned in the Bible. So I believe in a creator, as most of us do, but not religion. It's used to divide and conquer us. So we'll get rid of that. We'll believe in a creator. 10 Commandments. A lot of people believe in the 10 Commandments. We'll go with that. Yeah? But we're getting rid of government. They're out, gone. The elitists, globalists that run things, if we smoke them out, you know, we'll get rid of them as well. But that won't be easy because they're at the top. They can throw out pathogens and fucking viruses, but they have to tell us what they do. They still have to work by commas, and they can't get rid of us. They can't. They know they can't. They can't. They've tried before. We got divine intervention on our side. But karma, do it what you want. Believe it how you want. They can't wipe us out. They want to, but they can't. So that's my message. Stand and fight. Stand and fight. I'm going to shut this down soon. I just thought I'd do my bit, you know what I mean? Stick my neck out again, do my bit. You know, these families don't want us talking about them, you know. Not the ones that are in the media, because I suppose they're in the fucking media, isn't it? But the ones that are not. Let's start deep diving. Let's start really deep diving our research. Yeah. How many resets their families may have done before, but maybe it's our turn. I told you, if the tables turn, don't think it always goes their way, you know. I'm going to get my fill. Yeah, man. If the tables turn, I'm going to get my fill. Fillers in chopping heads at blood, get your fill. You know, not feeling people out. Get your fill of judgment. Right, it's your turn to go. You've been disgusting. The way you've managed society, the way you sold your soul in government. Ugh. If justice needs to be carried out on them people, then so be it, innit? Someone's got to do it. They all sold their soul through CV. They pierced the veil. They really pierced the veil in COVID. And BJ, Hancock, Cummings, they all sold their soul. Sunak. Yeah, where are they now? They got millions, people, you know, millions. It was one of the biggest wealth during CV was one of the biggest wealth distributions in history. All them fake companies, there was something like 300 billion or more. That was a reset. That was a partial reset. Corona. So the eclipse, corona of eclipse. Corona means crown. So they say the Queen was gone at the beginning of CV, and they crowned the King at the end of CV, didn't they? They crowned Charles in 2022. Corona. So you got the current in the sea. Yeah, Frank, you know this, Frank. You got the current in the sea. Well, the current is changing now. So it's going from analog to digital. So obviously everyone else has gone from analog to digital a long time ago, but the current in the sea hasn't. It's changing now. Current sea. So people are going to get caught in the riptide and all that, you know. It's all changing now. The props are going, the set's being changed. So properties, First World War, Second World War, bombed the whole of East London, innit? So they're going to change the properties. The actors. Where's BJ? Earning millions. Farage earning millions. Rupert Lowe, Tommy Robinson earning millions. Tommy Robinson's supposed to be worth about 30 million quid. The Rothschilds have been paying him for the longest time. Fucking hell. Tommy's worth a mint. Like I said, Tommy don't know, he just about knows his ass from his elbow, but the one fucking good thing Tommy can do is acting. I'll give him that. That's why he's got a load of money. He's a good actor. Very good. Well done, wanker. He ain't got a lot. He ain't got about 30 mil in the bank because he's an idiot, but he is a cunt. But that's the only thing he's good at is acting. He should be on films, isn't it? He would be. He will be, isn't it? Cunt. He'd be on like Danny Dyer films, wouldn't he? Tommy Robinson. Okay, no. That's it. That's the one thing he's good at, acting. Well done, Tommy. He's got a lot more money than I have. I earn really good money, and that's what I have to do. I have to go to work nights. I nearly die from going against everything natural, working nights, Sunday nights, all nights. I have to work hard to earn, which I do, luckily earn good money. That silly wanker, well, he's just another actor, isn't it? These actors, okay, no, they do fuck all and get millions. Well, he's there to divide and conquer. If people can't see that, then he lives in Dubai. So the irony, isn't it? He lives in an Islamic country. So there's, you know, the irony. But let them lot follow them. I already said I'm very reluctant to join forces with some of my views. You can't pigeonhole me or categorize me. Some of my views are left leaning, some are right leaning. But yeah, you're reluctant to join certain people because you don't know what outcome they want. Frank, hold on. Okay, Auditron denies the truth of the Ten Commandments, that all cite law. Right. Also, Lord, the government that set be true, yet consents to gov bar created constitution law. I know, Frank. Yeah, I know, it's deep. Are you speaking to him at the moment? What you saying? A copy of Oxymoron comment posted by Auditron. Don't believe in the God. I don't believe in the Bible. I don't have to believe in anything. There's no rules that say I have to believe. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get the oxymoron, but then you're saying he denies the truth. Yeah, and even SD likes the Ten Commandments, Frank, doesn't he? SD goes for the Ten Commandments. Is fucking SD live? Are you live, SD, you wanker? Why don't you come on here if you're live? Let me check. Is SD live, Frank? Now, has he gone live when I'm live? What a tosser! I shouldn't say that because he probably isn't. No, he isn't. SD, if you're around, jump on the panel. The link's there, you know. No, he isn't live. Where are you talking to Auditron, Frank? Sorry, SD. Come and jump on. All right, let me go back to mine quickly. Wait a minute. No, SD is not live. Right. Refuse to answer the question, so block me. Where, Frank? Where has Auditron blocked you? Because if SD's not live, are you saying on SD's last live? Because he is a moderator, actually, Frank. Are you saying on SD's last live last night or something? Other night one, there's a couple of days. All right, cool. All right, well, there's only 5 in at the moment. I did see 7 and 8 in earlier, Frank. So SD may have seen them live. So he may have seen this already. But when, call my neighbours, sorry, I could hear something there. Frank, when I next go in SD's channel, the other night, I will tell him that Auditron's blocked you. Refuse to answer the question, so he blocked me. He gets a bit. There's only 2 moderators on his channel. It's him and iCould. iCould's cool because iCould will always ask SD first, unless iCould's a mod on my channel as well. I've said to iCould, you can take the initiative if people are doxing people or being just crude and rude. So, but the other mod SD has is Auditron. And he blocked me, Frank, before. He called me a shield and all that, didn't he? Hold on, I'm coming back. Hold on. Right, what's happening, peeps? Oh, let me get a drink. Fucking hell, I went to the toilet. I didn't get a drink. Are you there? Can you hear me, you lot? Is anyone backstage? Does anyone want to come up? Come and say hello, man. Don't be horrible. Who's backstage? No one. Right, I'm going to play something. Wait a minute. All right. What's this? What? I won't play that. What the fuck's all this shit? Bill Gates, that cunt.
Your clients dream big. Your agency builds bigger. Base 44. Build it all. Give your clients what others don't.
Of all the things that are out there, what could cause an excess in a single year of 10 million deaths? Now, clearly a big war could, and a pandemic, natural or created by bioterror. The natural pandemic, the last gigantic one, was 100 years ago. We are healthier today, but the speed of travel, and therefore the speed of global spread, that works against us. But in some ways, the bioterror thing scares me the most. All it takes is one small terror.
You see this Doctor of Death? Let's talk about Bill Gates, shall we? Let's not right now. Let me play this, but let everyone know this man, and he's an asset actually, but his dad was a Nazi eugenicist and his mum was a Maxwell, so a media family tycoon. These people are still dangerous. Yeah.
Terrorism group, those groups have used things like anthrax that are non-human to human transmissible, and as yet, thank goodness, they've never been able to build or get their hands on a nuclear weapon.
Are you nervous about your own life and what could happen?
This thing will get a lot of countries before it gets to the U.S., but even the U.S. has to think about its global health security. It's a government thing to decide, okay, this is a problem. How do you move resources around? How do you allocate the scarce supplies? When an epidemic hits, governments having been prepared in advance and going through simulations, that will help them make the decisions that are only in their hands.
So hold on, everyone. Make sure that's on my StreamYard. So hold on, everyone. That was 8 years ago. We're in 2026. That's 2018. In an exclusive interview with Stat, Bill Gates talked about his fear of a global pandemic. Look at the fucking date, everyone. April the 13th, 2018. Frank, comment on this to tell me everyone can hear what I'm saying here. Look at this cunt. I'm going to play that again in a minute. Look, is there no comments? Frank, can you see and is the audio clear? Because I'm going to play that again. This reptile. Look at that, everyone. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Why the blocking so avoids answering the question? Frank, can you see this fucking Bill Gates thing clearly? And can you see the date clearly? Many people still in strong delusion. One, that's e.g. Auditron, wedding to the bar, guild created. I know constitution, but remember they got a constitution, Frank. You got to keep telling him we haven't got a constitution. Persona titles, soul reap. Bill Gates played okay. He's it right. Frank, I'm playing this again. Frank, can you see the date, bro? Look at the date, man. 2018, Frank.
All the things that are out there, what could cause an excess in a single year of 10 million deaths? Now, clearly a big war could, and a pandemic, natural or created by bioterror. The natural pandemic, the last gigantic one, was 100 years ago. We are healthier today, but the speed of travel, and therefore the speed of global spread, that works against us. But in some ways, the bioterror thing scares me the most. All it takes is one small terrorism group. Those groups have used.
You're the fucking terrorism
like anthrax that are non-human to human.
Did you hear him? All it takes is one small terrorism group. Is it you elitist? You're the small terrorism group.
Transmissible, and as yet, thank goodness, they've never been able to build or get their hands on a nuclear weapon.
Are you
look at the smile
nervous about your own
reptile
life and
No.
what could happen?
This thing will get a lot of countries before it gets to the U.S., but even the U.S. has to think about its global health security. It's a government thing to decide, okay, this is a problem. How do you move resources around? How do you allocate the scarce supplies? You know, when an epidemic hits, governments having been prepared in advance and going through simulations, that will help them make the decisions that are only in their hands.
Yeah, the reptile. You lot can see he's a reptile, yeah? We can all see. Well, they're certainly wearing masks, aren't they? Come on, man. British persons have Bill of Rights 1688. So what? Sescovics Act was 1666. So you're saying 22 years later, aka Constitution Form 1, that's after Civil War. Do more reading, be what I know, man. I do need to do a lot more reading. But you see this shit, man.
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards.
A secret government experiment turned animals into spies. A lie about food created a global crisis, and powerful men were caught performing strange rituals in the woods. These stories sound like nonsense. Many people didn't believe them, then the truth came out. Today we're diving into insane conspiracy theories that were true all along. We'll begin with the strange cases and work our way to the most shocking. Our goal, guys, is 2.5 million subscribers by the end of 2026, and it is months to figure out. One report said they made a monstrosity. At that point, it was time to...
Of all the things that are out there, what could cause an excess in a single year of 10 million deaths? Now, clearly a big war.
The disaster we worried about most was a nuclear war. That's why we had a barrel like this down in our basement filled with cans of food and water. When the nuclear attack came, we were supposed to go downstairs, hunker down, and eat out of that barrel. Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this.
Yeah, what's that? Coronavirus? What's this? Oh.
If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades.
Look at the date, everyone. I've just found this. You all watched me hunt that out. Frank, wait a minute. Sescovic Act is the bank registration life bond, fiscal estate in advance of creating Bank of England to securitize the cash bills of exchange. But it's the birth certificate, isn't it, Frank? 1660, the Sescovic Act is when they finally enslaved us as people, isn't it? But look at this, everyone. Frank. Fucking hell. Look at this. Frank, 11 years ago. So this was 2015, everyone. Let's play this.
It's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war.
Here we go.
Not missiles, but microbes.
This cunt.
Now, part of the reason for this is that we have invested.
Right, everyone. I've only got 5 in here. I hope this gets shared and watched. After I come off here, I bet there's only 40 people who've watched it if I'm lucky. But sometimes you'll watch a video can go over 100. I hope people watch and share this. This psychopath is in a pink jumper to make you feel his message is cool, he's a nice man. So you know them psychopaths that entice them horrible, disgusting Ted Bundys. Apparently they used to go in VW hippie vans and they'd be in pink jumpers like that. They'd entice women and hit them over the head with it, but they can't come to you looking like Shield Destroyer's thumbnail, can they? So see this psychopath, he can't come out looking like a psychopath, can he? He has to come out in glasses, the fucking teenage haircut and the pink jumper. Are you with me, everyone? There's 5 in here now. Please share this video. This man is a sociopathic psychopath, but he comes in a pink jumper. All right, watch. Look at him. No lips. That's a vampire.
Invested a huge amount in nuclear deterrence, but we've actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic. We're not ready for the next.
Darren thought running his dishwasher overnight could be cheaper. And how much did he say? No, I've got it.
Oh, guys, I have nothing.
Correct, Bright Spark. Nothing. He needed a smart meter and a flexible scheme or tariff to benefit.
Oh, see my way.
Choose to cruise. Cruz Campo, Sevilla.
Epidemic. Let's look at Ebola. I'm sure all of you read about it in the newspaper. Lots of tough challenges. I followed it carefully through the
let's look at Ebola.
We use to track polio eradication. And as you look at what went on,
can you hear this?
The problem wasn't that there was a system that didn't work well enough. The problem was that we didn't have a system at all. In fact, there are some pretty obvious key missing pieces. We didn't have a group of epidemiologists ready to go who would have gone, seen what the disease was, see how far it had spread. The case report.
Right, so Bill Gates is an epidemiologist. Did you hear? We didn't have a group of epidemiologists. And if you look up epidemiology, they can only find out after the event. Bill Gates is a computer man. Viruses. He has absolutely nothing to do with epidemiology.
Reports came in on paper. It was very delayed before they were put online, and they were extremely inaccurate. We didn't have a medical team ready to go. We didn't have a way of preparing people. Now, Médecins Sans Frontières did a great job orchestrating volunteers, but even so, we were far slower than we should have been getting the thousands of workers into these countries. And a large epidemic would require us to have hundreds of thousands of workers. There was no one there to look at treatment approaches, no one to look at the diagnostics, no one to figure out what tools should be used. As an example, we could have taken the blood of survivors, processed it, and put that plasma back in people to protect them. But that was never tried. So there was a lot that was missing. And these things are really a global failure.
Look at this pump.
The WHO is funded to monitor epidemics, but not to do these things I talked about. Now in the movies.
Don't tell me you don't look like a reptile.
It's quite different. There's a group of handsome epidemiologists ready to go. They move in, they save the day, but that's just pure Hollywood. The failure to prepare could allow the next epidemic to be dramatically more devastating than Ebola. Let's look at the progression of Ebola over this year. About 10,000 people died, and nearly all were in the 3 West African countries. There's 3 reasons why.
Right, remember why I'm showing this, everyone? I'm trying to expose Bill Gates, everyone, yeah? Later look up, read molecular communication. Listen, everyone, I'm showing you they have this cunt on stage. Look, and this is 11 years. Look at the shit he's talking about. Everything that's come to pass already, and there's more coming. Listen, this cunt's talking about Ebola.
It didn't spread more. The first is there was a lot of heroic work by the health workers. They found the people and they prevented more infections. The second is the nature of the virus. Ebola does not spread through the air. And by the time you're contagious,
How does
most
he know?
people are so sick that they're bedridden. Third, it didn't get into many urban areas, and that was just luck. If it had gotten into a lot more urban areas, the case numbers would have been much larger. So next time we might not be so lucky. You can have a virus where people feel well enough while they're infectious that they get on a plane or they go to a market. The source of the virus could be a natural epidemic like Ebola, or it could be bioterrorism. And so there are things that would literally make things 1,000 times worse. In fact, let's look at a model of a virus spread through the air like the Spanish flu back in 1918. So here's what would happen. It would spread throughout the world very, very quickly. And you can see there's over 30 million people die from that epidemic. So this is a serious problem. We should be concerned. But in fact, we can build a really good response.
Yeah, this is a fucking serious problem. And yeah, we should be concerned because of fucking loons like you that carry out this shit and facilitate it. But we know it comes from higher than you, Gates. But you're one of the Gates, aren't you? Gates. Clues in the fucking name, everyone.
System. We have the benefits of all the science and technology that we talk about here. We've got cell phones to get information from the public and get information out to them. We have satellite maps where we can see where people are and where they're moving. We have advances in biology that should dramatically change the turnaround time to look at a pathogen and be able to make drugs and vaccines that fit for that pathogen. So we can have tools, but those tools need to be put into an overall global health system, and we need preparedness. The best lessons, I think, on how to get prepared are, again, what we do for war. For soldiers, we have full-time waiting to go. We have reserves that can scale us up to large numbers. NATO has a mobile unit that can deploy very rapidly. NATO does a lot of war games to check, are people well trained? Do they understand about fuel and logistics and the same radio frequencies? So they are absolutely ready to go. So those are the kinds of things we need to deal with an epidemic. What are the key pieces? First is we need strong health systems in poor countries. That's where mothers can give birth safely, kids can get all their vaccines, but also where we'll see the outbreak very early on. We need a medical reserve corps. Lots of people.
You hear this, Doctor of Death? Right, let me remind you lot, look it up. There's one article left, the Telegraph or something. He got run out of India because he'd give 60 million polio vaccinations. He ended up sterilizing about 60 million Indian women. If Bill Gates goes back to India, he will be sued for billions. He went on to Africa and done the same. He gave out polio. Everyone, if you think I'm lying, look up polio vaccinate. I can't remember the words, the acronym of injuries and harm, paralyzation that's come from polio vaccines. That's come from Bill Gates. Yeah. So I've got 6 of you watching now. If anyone thinks I'm lying, Bill Gates won't go to India or Africa. So I'm playing this to show you what he tells the normies. It's like Freemasonic philanthropy, yeah? So they cause the problem and then go and throw a few billion at it. But if they didn't cause the problem in the first fucking place, he's out there doing chemical, stratospheric aerosol transportation and nuclearation, the anagram of Satan, of chemtrails above us last year, mainstream news. So you got BA and aluminium in the periodic chemistry table. You got BA and AL, so Baal. So why do they keep? My friend says, so what is Satan spraying the skies? I said, well, I just laughed. I went, well, why do they keep referring to the Lucifer and everything? And, you know, convoluting or so Bill Gates' dirty fingerprints are just fucking over everything, absolutely everything. And his mum was a Maxwell, part of the Maxwell empire, and his dad was a Nazi eugenicist. So if anyone's thinking, like, well, what's your conclusion? What's your conclusion? Well, my conclusion is I'll finish this video of this. He's an asset. But he's telling you what the Committee of 300 or the Family of 13, Club of Rome, this is what they're doing. So I'll finish this. And I'll bid you all farewell soon, because there's only Frank, unless anyone wants to come up quickly or contribute towards the chat, I'm going to finish this soon and jump off, because I've got work Tuesday night and I've had roast dinner and a drink, and I bet when I hear this back, oops, I'm going to be annoyed that I sound pissed, slurring. Because I'm putting good info out there. Frank's doing good comments. Double Bluff is casting a spell to hypnotise Oneness. His dad, or Double Bluff, Double Cross as well, isn't it? Can't find comments. Well, yeah, like I say, unless anyone's found, there's no one in the backstage. The link's out there, isn't it? Did I post it? No one come up. The link's there if anyone wants to come up quickly. If not, I'm going to finish this and shut this down. So how long have I been on? 2 hours. Fucking hell. All right. Yes. Yeah, let me finish this.
People who've got the training and background, who are ready to go with the expertise. And then we need to pair those medical people with the military, taking advantage of the military's ability to move fast, do logistics, and secure areas. We need to do simulations, germ games, not war games, so that we see where the holes are. The last time a germ game was done in the United States was back.
You hear this psychopath, innit? Is that coming through? You hear this absolute psychopath, innit? Go on, let's carry on. Look at this. Listen, psychopaths don't come with I'm a murderer written on them. They come with pink jumpers and nerdy looks like this. Don't let this disgusting, vile, if that's really him, this piece of shit needs that. Can you see this? Yeah, he needs that. So let me finish off with this foul piece of shit.
Back in 2001, and it didn't go so well. So far, the score is germs 1, people 0. Finally, we need lots of advanced R&D in areas of vaccines and diagnostics. There are some big breakthroughs, like adeno-associated virus, that could work very, very quickly.
Well, MNRA.
Now, I don't have an exact budget for what this would cost, but I'm quite sure it's very modest compared to the potential harm. The World Bank estimates that if we have a worldwide flu epidemic, global wealth will go down by over $3 trillion, and we'd have millions and millions of deaths.
Is that what happened in COVID?
These investments offer significant benefits beyond just being ready for the epidemic. The primary health care, the R&D, those things would reduce global health equity and make the world more just as well as more safe. So I think this should absolutely be a priority. There's no need to panic. We don't have to hoard cans of spaghetti or go down into the basement, but we need to get going because time is not on our side. In fact, if there's one positive thing that can come out of the Ebola epidemic, it's that it can serve as an early warning, a wake-up call to get ready. If we start now, we can be ready for the next epidemic. Thank you.
Well, fuck me. Thank you, Frank. Have you read what? Do not sound slurring, Oneness. You sound okay. Thank you, Frank. I know you're being too generous there. Listen, I'm trying to sober myself up now before I finish that because I ended that, and that shows everyone how sociopathic, psychopathic people. They're the assets, but they carry the shit out for the ones behind them, the finances. Yeah. Have you read Lockstep 220 Yes, Frank, can't, but I will read it again, man. So we all need to read Event 201 again with this cunt in Japan, I think it was November 2019, and Agenda 2030, everyone. Duping delight, he's trying to giggle. He's disgusting, Frank. I mean, that's there. I'm going to end it here, Frank. I think it's on a good point. Watch this video, everyone. When I end this here, you'd be lucky if 30 people have viewed it, but sometimes within about a week, there can be over 100 views. His mum's brother was a rookie, Oneness, the very top breed via women's line. Yeah, man. His mum was a Maxwell, you know. So I know what you're saying, rookie. I'm not just saying, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I know they're gangsters. They're proper high. Bidens, Bushes, Kennedys. They're really high in the game. They're billionaires. They're not letting up their billions for us learning and uprising. They're not going to let us uprise, Frank, or they're going to try not to. It happens every 100 years, Frank, doesn't it? We've had enough. We're going to uprise. But listen, I said earlier, I'm going to have my fill, as in is it FILL? If I see heads cut rolling, then I'm going to watch it. If the top can get smoked out, we'll smoke them out. We'll smoke them out and see some heads roll, man. Not just the government, that's not enough. Not just the establishment, not just the committee of 300. It's got to go right to the top, innit? Club of Rome. Everyone's got to turn on. We got the numbers. So we've all got to turn on them. Who are they? We know who they are. I just put a list of them earlier. Gates and Larry Fink, their assets. We got to go higher than that. Right. It's good talking to you all. Thank you for the ones that have tuned in. Thank you, Frank O'Brien, for your contribution. It has very much helped, brother. I hope people have enjoyed it. I go for the truth, man. I'm trying. Contribute. Put stuff in the chat. There's not been much in the chat, so put a few comments up or something. But yeah, I'm in work this week. Have a lovely week, everyone. Frank, I'm gonna go, man. Mother's name was Rocky Herb. Father's bank was Maxwell. Well, that's how deep they go, Frank. They control everything. Because the Maxwells controlled the media, didn't they, Frank? So that's what I'm saying. The Maxwells controlled the media. So Bill Gates' mum was the Maxwells, and then his dad worked for the Nazis, and he was part of Paperclip. So, you know, this man goes to India, gives out a polio vaccination, and it sterilizes, apparently, Frank, check it out. You just about get it now, Frank. But Bill Gates give out a polio vaccine in India, and it sterilized about 60 million Indian women. So if that's not a man that's trying to, you know, like his dad with the Nazis, a eugenicist, trying to control population. Do you know what I mean? Take care, one, and stick to the truth, else be doing the blocking. No. Peregrine. Oh, right, Frank. Right, when I next speak to SD, if he hasn't heard, I'll say SD check, because I think all these blocked Frank. Right, cheers, Frank. Thanks, everyone. Right, love you all. Right, speak soon. Right, end stream. I'm going to make sure, right, I'm going to take myself off the stage and try and end this all properly.